Calamitous housing market turn, major foreclosures coming. So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Ron Yates here. Hope you're doing very well. Now we got to talk about something very serious today. The housing market is going through a tough time right now, and it's causing a lot of people to lose their homes. It's a really sad situation, but we are here to work it out together. Maybe even help you out and give you some tips on how you and your family could stay protected. But here, check this out.
Foreclosures are now surging on the U.S. housing market, with Bloomberg reporting that more Americans are now losing their homes as foreclosures rise. They're up 22% from a year ago and have now risen on an annual basis for 23 straight months. The overall foreclosure rates in America are still below where they were before the pandemic, so they're going to need to surge by more in the coming year to make a big dent in the housing market. However, in certain cities, that's already happening. With Bloomberg reporting that metros like Riverside, California, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Las Vegas, Nevada have the highest foreclosure rates per capita. Foreclosures are also most likely to occur in parts of a city with the highest poverty rates and the lowest incomes. If we go on Reventure app and look at a metro like Dallas, the rates of foreclosures will be highest in the zip codes in red because they have the most poverty-stricken households. Meanwhile, they're not as likely to occur in the zip codes in blue with lower poverty rates. Expect foreclosures to start really hitting the U.S. housing market in the second half of 2023 and into 2024, so long as the government doesn't do another foreclosure moratorium.
So the government, along with the Fed, they like to talk a big game about how everything's fine, the housing market's just stabilizing, but really, when you look at the numbers more closely, yeah, they ain't feeling nobody. Nobody's falling for it. Do you believe the government when they say that the economy is doing just fine? Just drop me a quick comment down below. So I stumbled across this really good article from Zero Hedge that really shows what's going on with the consumer right now. And trust me, it's not pretty. So the title pretty much covers it. Quote, home foreclosures and missed credit card payments surge as consumers buckle. End quote. But don't worry, we got you covered with the latest information and advice. But I really shouldn't say advice because this channel is not about financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes. I'm just sharing with you guys current news and strategies that I'm implementing in my life. So if you're a homeowner or you're just thinking about buying a home, maybe you're renting or living in your parents' basement, you're going to want to stick around and possibly ride out this crazy housing market together right along with me. So the first part of the article reads, quote, in the first quarter of the year, home foreclosures surged as reported by property data firm Adam. Following a 2-year lull, pandemic-related housing assistance programs are winding down. Homeowners who chose not to make mortgage payments are now either negotiating new terms with lenders, they're selling their properties, or, as current trends suggest, they're facing foreclosure. The troubling rise coincides with consumers falling behind on their credit card payments. End quote. Okay, so here's the deal. One of the big things happening right now is banks are convincing people to take out a 40-year fixed rate mortgage, even though the interest rate is higher than the usual 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Why? Because their payments are spread out over an extra 10 years. The monthly payment is actually a little bit lower, like $200 to $350 lower per month on average. Some people ultimately have no choice or, possibly face foreclosure if they don't do this. Now, a friend of mine, she told me how for the first time in 35 years, her bank called her asking if she needed anything. Now, after telling them that she was great, they asked if she wanted to come in to meet with them to discuss loan offers in case of an unexpected emergency. Not a good sign when banks are calling customers asking them if they want or need a loan, if you ask me. So yeah, people are all over these longer term loans. But what they don't realize is that by only making these minimum payments, they're just going to end up paying for their house like forever. Seriously. Like instead of just paying for it, like just 1.5 or 2 times, like you would with a 3% mortgage, you could end up paying for it like 3 or 4 times over the 40-year term. It's a total bummer because you could be keeping all that extra money in your own pocket and compounding your own money, but instead you're handing it over to the bank and you're compounding the bank's money. Plus, we know that credit card debt now is at an all-time high and more consumers are falling behind on their credit card payments lately. It's just all really sad if you think about it. So the article continues, quote, while still below pre-pandemic levels, foreclosure filings during the first quarter of 2023 totaled 95,712 properties, which is up 6% from the previous quarter and 22% from a year ago. This is the 23rd consecutive month with a year-over-year increase in foreclosure activity. End quote. Now, you got to keep in mind that when you see crazy numbers like a 22% increase in foreclosures from one year to the next, it's not just because people suddenly got lazy with their mortgage payments. A lot of folks who were behind on their bills were actually protected by the government's "don't worry, we got you" policy during the tough times. But here's the thing, when you get used to not paying your mortgage, it's going to be a real shock to the system when things get back to normal and you got to start making those payments. People are going to be totally lost. So I had a neighbor who lost their job like 6 months ago and they fell behind on their mortgage. Now, you would think that that they would just sell their house and make a killing, right? Like they could easily just pocket 350 grand and go rent elsewhere for a while. I mean, a long while. But nah, instead, he just kept looking for a job in his field. And it was a very high paying job too, but he couldn't find anything. Fast forward 6 months and they're in full blown foreclosure. Now they're doing a short sale just to try and make some profit. It's really messed up just to watch them struggle like that. It's a total bummer, guys, because now they've totally trashed their credit and they're not going to be able to take advantage of any of the great deals that are about to come up. It might take them years just to get back into a house if they ever can. That's what really matters here, you know? Now, that 22% increase in foreclosures from last year, not really that surprising to be honest. But you got to pay attention to the 6% increase from the last quarter. That's kind of a big deal. And get this, we've now had 23 straight months or more of more and more foreclosures happening across the country. That's insane, right? Like, it's been nothing but bad news for almost like 2 whole years now. So yeah, when these banks finally start foreclosing on all of these homes that are in default and have been in default for ages, it's going to be a total flood of new inventory hitting the market. We're talking epic downturn here, folks. Get ready for it. Now, the sad thing is that a lot of banks are hiding the shadow inventory when they sell it. It's like what the home dealers are doing right now. You know, Lennar, Toll Brothers, and others, they're selling swaths of homes, like 500 at a time, to institutional investor funds that are planning to use your pension money to buy them and rent them for yield. Because right now, pension funds and hedge funds, they're starved for really good yields in order to stay ahead of inflation. So navigating how to get into these properties is going to be the thing. I know how to get into them right now, but that's a loaded weapon. And as I said before, here on the Financial Freedom Channel, people need to understand that right now, you'd be buying an asset. Even if they're just taking over payments, you'll probably be putting in a tenant who will soon lose their job. If you think people are losing their jobs now, wait until you see what happens this fall. It's going to be a disaster. And right now, we're just at the bottom of this chart in foreclosure filings that are about to take off. And it's going to look even more catastrophic than what we saw back in 2007, 2008. Now, it says here, quote, despite the efforts made by government agencies and policymakers to try and reduce foreclosure rates, we're seeing an upward trend in foreclosure activity. Now, this comes from Ron Barber, CEO of Adam. He went on to say that this unfortunate trend can be attributed to a variety of factors, such as rising unemployment rates, foreclosure filings making their way through the pipeline after years of government intervention, and other ongoing economic challenges. However, with many homeowners still having significant home equity, that may help in increased levels of foreclosure activity and keep it at bay, end quote. All right, so let me break it down for you guys in simpler terms. You know how the housing market is facing some economic challenges and we're seeing more foreclosures lately? Well, some people think that homeowners with a lot of equity in their homes will be able to weather the storm, but that's not necessarily true. So this same thing happened back in 2005, 2006 timeframe when home prices started going down. People thought that they had a safety net in their home equity, but it didn't end up helping them out in the long run as more and more homes were listed and sold for less money and home values decreased. Your home values will also decrease as well, even if you had a lot of equity built up. So these people, I'm telling you, they're probably getting a little bit too comfortable and they think that they're safe from the housing downturn. But before they know it, it'll be too late and they'll be waking up realizing that they're in a bad dream. Really, you got to act fast and be smart. Let me know in the comments if you're someone who woke up just recently as to what's going on in the housing market, maybe like a month ago. Now, it's just crazy to think that back in May and June, everybody was saying buy now or you'll never be able to afford it. And now you can look on Zillow and places like Austin that were hot for years. And now you're seeing prices drop left and right. People can't get out of their homes fast enough because everybody's trying to sell at once. By this fall, we might see entire streets with 40% of the properties up for sale. Could be wild. And really, we're just seeing the beginning of the show. Now, check this out. Quote, much of this data was recorded before Silicon Valley Bank's demise. A credit crunch followed and sparked further busting of the tech bubble that added capital destruction in private equity and venture capital firms. Now, real estate investments, primarily commercial real estate, are being significantly re-evaluated as more financial stress is boiling up. End quote. Now, we talked about this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. Venture capital firms are running out of cash, which means all these cool startups in places like Austin, New Mexico, Silicon Valley, and California, they're disappearing in front of our eyes. That also means more layoffs, but this time it's the high-paying jobs that are going to get the axe. These small companies with 25 to 100 people that they hired the best talent and they paid top dollar to keep them, but now they're struggling to survive. So those folks making bank, they're going to be out of work and selling selling everything just to get by. Because finding a job like that is now going to be a little harder. As venture capital money dries up, you're going to see a lot of unemployment and high income earners selling off their fancy cars and houses just to make ends meet. Trust me, it's going to be a wild ride by summertime. It says here, quote, making matters worse is 24 months of negative real wage growth for consumers who've maxed out credit cards and drained personal savings. Lower tier customers are coming under pressure as big banks are beginning to notice a startling uptrend in credit card and loan payment delinquencies, end quote. So basically what's happening is people can't pay their bills and banks are cutting their credit lines. They're trying to trap people into paying only the minimum payment, which is a bad idea. Credit card companies, they're doing this to make money. Wells Fargo CFO Mike Sandro Mazzino, he said that people are falling behind on their bills because of inflation. This is bad news for the economy, and we're going to see more foreclosures and delayed payments in the coming months. But if you are prepared, you can actually make some money from the situation. Really, that's why I want to wake up as many people as I can in the world. It'd be awesome if everybody just woke up, but we all have family and friends who, think that we're just a bunch of crazy guys worried about nothing. So guys, get the word out there, hit the like button, hit the share button, get this message out there. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this video. Shout out to everybody who hit the thumbs up button and shared this video. Much love to you guys. Let me know which other headlines or news you're curious about so we can talk about that in future videos. Just drop me a comment down below. I'm gonna wait for you guys' requests, but for now, that was today's important housing market update and daily news report. The calamitous housing market turn that's probably gonna hit later this year. Home foreclosures starting to tick back up. 23 straight months of people being forced to sell their homes, and really what we can do to prepare for the economic downturn. Lots of exciting news to look forward to in the next one. I'm gonna see you guys there.